Yeah.
Yep. Got it.
All right. We're live on Facebook. Let me hit the record button too. All right. Another happy Friday for the GSD fam. How you guys doing out there? When you guys do come on, I want to see some hashtag live, some hashtag replay. And smash the heart button. Like, we're gonna go through some serious stuff here. This is gonna be fun stuff, and we're gonna also try to break this down. If you have questions in the audience, go ahead and ask them as you come along. We'll check the comments periodically all along the way. But if you don't know who I am and you're just joined this group, my name is Rahul. My partner is Cody. We're on the banner above in this Facebook group. We help digital marketers, consultants, coaching people all over the space help grow and scale their businesses by dialing in their offers, mastering their traffic, getting a sales system in place, and having a delivery team that can do it all. So you have your assembly line company. So today's guest is Julian Espinosa from Poppy Digital. I'll let him introduce himself in just a minute. I know Julian extremely well. Our relationship goes back probably to like 2004, 5, 6, somewhere around there. And this is an exciting story. You may have seen him in the group a month ago or 2 months ago, whenever we did our last live. But today we're going to be talking about him teaching rather than me doing the teaching, because he's learned a lot. He's worked and trained under me for 5 years, 6 years, and we still maintain this great relationship where we bounce ideas back and forth, because life is all about the network. And you don't want to ever burn a motherfucking bridge along the way, because you never know how it can come back to you, regardless of what the situation is. So that's a learning lesson right there. So anyways, Julian, introduce yourself.
Yeah, guys, thank you for the wonderful introduction. Guys, my name is Julian Espinosa. I am the founder of Poppy Digital. We are an agency, probably just like yourselves. Our niche is podcasting, and we're going to definitely get into how we service that market, what we service, and how we got there. So Rahul, where do you want me to begin, man?
Like, let's talk about like the context of this is cashing big checks. Like, this dude, like, I remember, I don't even know, I can't even give it a date, but let's just say 3 years ago, I think I ran into you at Hub 101 in an entrepreneur center just by chance. Didn't know you were helping out there and helping all these young kids grow into like people to find out what they want to do in their big boy world or big girl world. And I remember Julian was just like, hey, I'm working with a former client of yours. I'm in the gun thing, or the holster. I think it was Old Faithful or Alien Gear or something like that. And I was just like, oh, e-commerce, ads, all this, and everything's changed since then dramatically in terms of like what you're doing in your positioning statement. Because at first it's like we have these clients where we're just starting our agency, we're getting by, we're when somebody says, oh, how are you doing, be like, oh, life's great, but then inside you're like, fuck that, life sucks because I have fucking stress and pressure, I hate what I fucking do. So then not that that's you, but I'm just saying that's a lot of people. You can wake up 4 days a week feeling like shit, 3 days a week feeling semi good, but then when you tell the public, it's like, oh, life's good, I own my own business, it's so cool, I'm an entrepreneur. But we can get out of that rat race because we just have to find a rhythm, because we have a tendency just to do too much. Like, when you started, do you feel like you were a yes man and you were just doing like, oh, I can do creative, I can outsource your graphic, your web, your icon, your logo, your Facebook ads, your e-commerce site?
Yeah, I mean, when you start, you just need to survive, right? And I think one thing I've learned is you need to survive long enough till you can figure it out. And so that was definitely a learning lesson. So to kind of start at the beginning, guys, I started with 0 clients. And Rahul knows this because I went from his agency to another agency who competed in the very exact same category. In fact, in the same freaking building.
Dude, this guy leaves my company and goes downstairs, like literally
in our old office.
It was my old office that I started in. I literally went upstairs. This fucker goes into my old office, in my old chair, my old room. I'm like, what?
Okay, so the story as it goes, I worked for Rahul for many, many years. I'm probably, in terms of like, I don't know how many people I other than maybe like Val, like as a sales guy, like I worked with you the longest. So like I'm like your protege, right?
You're my project. Just so you guys know, Julian was my project. This was probably the closest person to be like me at that time, because he actually lived with me. But we'll save that backstory. The backstory is in another video.
So anyways, we were in a particular building. Rahul was expanding. We were growing. We moved to another office, and in this new office, we were doing some cool stuff, whatever. And someone underneath us, where the old office was, moved in, and it was a competitor. And over conversations, over several months, I ended up leaving Rahul's agencies after 5 years and went to a competing agency who sold very similar products. And you can say this for everyone. Did I take a client from you guys?
No, you never took a client. In fact, you actually delivered me clients.
Right.
And that's where it comes to, we'll back into that in the end, but that's where we don't burn the bridge.
Right. And I have a certain moral ethics. And by the way, like there's a good story, guys. Here, I'll give you guys this quick preview. Remember those checks you guys just saw? Those checks are right here. So I'm getting to explaining how I got to these checks. This is, what do we got? We got SIRIUS XM, we got Cheesecake Factory, and we've got HeadSpace. Okay.
And the crazy part really quick is they're all three right on his desk. They're still in his fucking house. Right. So these are all clients that he's bringing on, and they're repeatable clients. They're not like they're brand new. They're just sending checks in the mail, because I don't like checks, as a lot of you guys know. I like to build things on credit cards, but when you're working with big ass brands, you have absolutely no choice. It's their policies.
It is.
But that's fucking huge, man. I mean, these are like, who here has heard of NETFIX? Who here has heard of XM, Sirius, satellite radio? It comes almost in every fucking car for free now. Right. So they can push their podcast, which Julian will get into in a little bit. And Cheesecake Factory, it's like one of the best like chain restaurants in America out here, and there might be international, I'm not sure. Their corporate offices are not too far. I remember we drive by it to work when we were going to Custom Creative's office back in the days.
Yeah. So the point is, I'm sharing my story here, guys, so you guys can see that it's very doable. You may be a small agency just starting out, or maybe you're doing $5,000-$10,000 a month and you can't get past that and you've been stuck. This is all a story to get to where you want to go, right? Our goals are to be bringing in $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 a month in recurring revenue. And I'm going to show you here with this story how that's possible. So I leave Rahul and I go to another agency. And here's the first key thing. I didn't take a single client. We ended up having a client come because they were actually, it was a Spanish client, but we'll hit that another point. But I didn't steal any single client. And that's really, really important. I eventually left that company after 4 years. And again, I didn't steal a single client. So what I'm trying to tell you guys is this. When I started my agency, after doing this for 10 years, I had a book, I had a LinkedIn profile, I had so many connections of people I could call. I never stole a single client from any of my previous agencies.
One quick thing, I want to stop right there, because like one thing Julian was really good at when he was working with me, and I want you guys to do the same thing too, because we get so busy, and when we get busy, a lot of it's in our head where we got to simplify shit, where it's like, oh my God, I got 10 calls, but it's like, you have a lot of time in between those calls, right? You have a lot of time if you just focus and rather than get paralyzed, right? So what Julian would do on every single prospect, this dude was adding him on LinkedIn. This dude was adding him on social media. This guy was
before it was cool to do that.
Yeah. And I didn't even do that. I was just like, fuck that. Like, I don't want to get on social media at the time. And I remember my dad saying, get on this Facebook. You got to be on Facebook. I'm like, Dad, have you ever heard anyone say, let me Facebook it? And then my dad was right. But anyways, long story short is, yeah, this dude was doing the activities, hammering the phones, following up like a boss, using the tools at the disposal. Yes, he'd complain, we need this, we need that. And my response was simply, don't blame the tools you don't have. Does Michael Jordan blame his shoes? Does Michael Jordan blame the referee's whistle? No, we work within the context of what we have, and we'll get the luxury items as we can get them on. So Julian was a champ in terms of like, he just, while he may have grimaced and saying, fuck, I need this, is stupid, we don't have it, but he did his thing all day, every day, 14, 16 hours a day with us. I mean, we grinded.
Right. Absolutely. And to your point, Rahul, it's funny. I didn't even reflect that, but like every single interaction, I would just add them on LinkedIn. And by the way, I still do that today. I'm sick. I do well. I don't need to be adding people on LinkedIn, but I add every single person I connect with. I think you have like 40,000.
How long does it take?
I mean, like 8 seconds, maybe.
Okay,
or less.
8 seconds. 8 seconds. That's it.
Yeah.
There you go. So now you guys have the time.
While you're on the phone with them, I'm on the phone with them. I mean, here, I'll tell you this, Rahul, this is what I actually do. So every time I get on a phone call, and we'll talk about this really cool tool here in just a second, when we get to it, but I will before I get on the phone call, go to their LinkedIn profile and I'll go look at their companies, right? Where did they work at? And here's a candid question. That's my best question. If they've been into a different industry, I ask them on the phone very early. I'm like, hey, you know what? How did you go from the fashion industry to technology? That was like a radical like jump. And I swear it drops the barriers down. It opens doors when you can ask them a personalized question. So anyways, go ahead.
No, that's huge, man. I mean, just having that intel, imagine what somebody's going to think in their head. You know what I mean? That it, like if somebody said like, how did you go from custom creatives to the GSD? I'd be like, dude, this person actually gives a shit. They're paying attention. So I'm more inclined to have a relationship. So that's a hack that actually freaking works. And that tool that you mentioned, we're going to share the secret weapon. So you guys know towards the end of this. So if you want to see the secret weapon, I want to see the words secret weapon in the comments. Smash some heart buttons too. We're about to get into some fire. So let's go back to the journey, because I know a lot of people are probably thinking like, well, fuck, I don't have the clients I want. Is it even possible that I can get these big clients? And I want to set a disclaimer here. Like Julian just laid out his experience, his background, 5 years me, 4 years somewhere else. Now he's been on his own for many years. Now, because we're older, because we can look back in time, watch our own game film and replay it through our head, there's a lot of things a lot of us would do a lot differently. Now, my personal thing is I would have just gone after way bigger clients rather than dealing with the $2,000, $100, $500 people that are going to have lion expectations and cat-like budgets. I would have pivoted earlier, but I would have that as my mental timeline. I would say I need a couple of these a year to get a couple 6-figure, 7-figure clients, and parlay my database with some smaller ones until I can position myself as the man to go to for X service, which we did really well with graphics and design and animation. At that time, we were known as the artists of Flash and HTML5 and movement and efficiency and better pricing. So we found a market and then we evolved to that market.
Dude, we were like the best banner ad company of the time, man. Like we were up there. Like I don't know if anyone else was competing with us.
No, we were like, I mean, we had fucking MLB, NHL reach out to us. We didn't get those two.
We did AT&T. We were doing Gary V before Gary V was doing, like, I mean, we're doing
like if I said Gary V a decade ago or whenever we did that shit, people were like, who's Gary V? I mean, still a lot of people don't know who he is. Which is surprising if you're in the social media world, but a lot of people don't know it. But yeah, I remember that you and I talked about that, about like, I think it was like I didn't know that you could schedule emails. So I was literally staying up till 3 a.m. just to send Gary V a fucking email to tell him I'm hustling. And I didn't realize you can actually hit send at 3 a.m. at the time. So I was like literally exchanging emails 2, 3, 4 in the morning with Gary Vaynerchuk. And the dude was just like finally probably sick of me, where he passed me off to his brother, then somebody else in his company. And after like 2-3 weeks of every day banging the fucking keyboard, like he says it finally got a deal out of him, which was fucking cool. But that the thing about the challenge was we don't take no. It takes 50, 60 follow-ups. That happened to be in like 2 weeks though. I tweeted everybody, and I don't tweet. I was tweeting all of them because that's where they hung out specifically.
There you go. Okay. Stop right there. That is literally what I learned. So Rahul taught me a lot of things, you know, spending 5 years with Rahul literally daily. Okay. And learning from him. The key unlock, the biggest thing is go where your audience is. That and it sounds simple, okay? And you're like, well, what the fuck does that mean? I'm going to explain it how I literally landed these checks with that strategy, okay? So I'm going to explain to you what this is. So just kind of finishing the story, I started my company, right? What I have now. And I needed to get a client. Over time, I ended up with my first client. I got a second, I got a third, and it started going from there, right? And we can talk that's for another discussion. How Rahul has strategies on how to get your first 5-10 clients. That's a whole nother conversation. But to Rahul's point, After doing this for about 2 years, I was realizing working with small businesses, medium-sized businesses, I was limited. Rahul, your screen airplane.
Yeah, like I turned off the mirror because I was gonna hop on Facebook, but anyways,
Okay.
I'll turn it
Okay.
back on. I was
So
screen mirroring from my phone.
yeah, so what happened was after 2 years working with small to medium-sized businesses, um, and it's in the event details, it's like clients were asking like, where's this lead didn't work, these leads aren't working, this isn't happening, or their expectations were the moon, and they had negotiated the heck out of my retainer. And like, it was just like it was an experience where it was like, these clients have huge expectations and they're not paying very much. So I decided that, honestly, I started losing the love of digital marketing. I started losing.
Hold on. Like
Yeah.
losing the love. What was it? Because things weren't going your way, and like, is that the only reason? Is it because you actually didn't like digital marketing, or is it because the clients weren't coming and they were barking at you, and there was no solution to the problem?
I think it was, I was losing we had money. Like, money wasn't a problem. It was just, you're fighting the same problems. Like, the client's brand is a problem. The client's this is a problem. Like, this isn't great. Like obviously that landing page isn't going to convert, and we were just doing Facebook ads. So now we got to go do their landing page, and it was
And
just
you weren't charging for it, so it was basically like they didn't have the money. They felt nickel and dimed if you made a recommendation, and you felt like you're on eggshells.
pretty much. So think about it like this: someone's going to give you their remaining budget, which is $1,500 a month. They're going to give you $1,000 in ad spend, right? So $2,500 a month. That's their only marketing budget. If that's all they got, that's all they got, right? And so for me, it was like, I felt attached to the outcome. I don't like taking people's money and just running ads that don't work. Like, I never liked that.
Yeah.
So I would go above and beyond. And to your point, I would just do more work. And if you looked at my hourly rate, I was probably working for $3 an hour because of just the amount of hours I was working for the particular client for what they were paying me. So I decided that I needed to find a niche, and it didn't come to me right away. It didn't come to me like off the bat. It wasn't like, oh, suddenly this reflection and all this. But I knew I needed to focus in on a niche, and I needed to go for bigger clients, because hey, if it's a big client and they're sending big checks, hey, you can be a pain in the ass if you want. The reality is most of them aren't. Most of them are actually pretty easy, because they're not looking at their last dying dollar. Go ahead. Did you want to say something?
They're pretty easy, and they have the cash flow to do it. So,
Right.
and like, when you're dealing with bigger companies, I mean, the mindset of those decision makers is already long term. Right. So I mean, imagine dealing with a fancy director of marketing at a big company like a realtor.com or a Sirius XM radio. You think that their strategy is 30 fucking days? No.
No.
I mean, they literally have hundreds of millions of dollars to just literally test.
Yep.
So you are going to be a key position if you want to make the big bucks and grow within the organization as their vendor. But the key thing you guys have to know in the audience is everybody outsources something. Everybody outsources something. Go to the grocery store. They did not make those bananas or anything in that fucking store. It was all outsourced, and there's probably 5 middlemen in the middle. Same thing with every big company from AT&T. They outsource fiber or contracting or truck driving or whatever the fuck it is. So you all have this opportunity for every company. To me, I learned this early. I don't know if you noticed this when we were working together, but I knew everybody outsourced. I just had to find the angle. What are they missing that they already outsourced, that they're overpaying for, or they're not happy with? Could we either charge more and give a premium product faster, or can we solve their problem that they're not happy with, whether they just are a Fiverr company where it's like, I'll sell this, and there's just this tentacles of all these people upload it to Fiverr, people do the job, inconsistency city, and then the entrepreneur can't sleep at night because they're working on paying a guy $5 for a fucking banner ad at 2 a.m. because there was one single spelling error, and that entrepreneur doesn't have Photoshop to fix it. Right.
100%.
I'm talking about myself too.
No, I know what you're talking about. So when you look at this, and I looked at this, I said, I need to go for bigger fish. So coming to the strategy, and literally the best gift that Rahul ever gave me, right, was to essentially find people, companies, organizations that refer you clients. And it sounds very simple, right? It's like, oh my God, well, duh. Well, if I could get that, I would do it. But it's a lot simpler than it really is if you really think about it. So what I did was I got into the podcasting industry myself for my own show. I got my own podcast, and I ended up working with a key influencer in the podcast space who I didn't even know at the time. The guy worked at, he was like the ex-vice president of podcasting at iHeartRadio. And he was helping me with my show. And how did I meet him? I met him because I went to a convention. I went to a convention and I spoke to someone. And I asked for an introduction to someone that they know that can help me with something. Right. Mm-hmm. And so that's how this started. It started by me going to a convention, me getting out there. And I met someone who was in podcasting and I asked for help. Then I landed this iHeart contact. He loved what I did as a company. And he was like, can you do this for podcasting? I go, sure, absolutely. I don't know anything about it, but I'll give it a shot. I did it. Results were insane. He loved it. He loved the strategy. He then spoke to someone else. And I came back to this is the key part. I came back to the original referring party who referred me to him. And I said, hey, we did this really cool project for him. Do you know anyone who this would work for? And then that person who was my original person who I asked for a referral gave us HeadSpace. Then they gave us SIRIUS XM. And now from SIRIUS XM, we're going to Netflix, and who knows where we're going from here, right? And so the point is, once you find these hubs of people that know people, right, do really good work for them, impress them. Rahul would always do a free banner, right? Hey, can I do a free banner for you? His cost was what? 10, 20 bucks, 30 bucks, or whatever his cost was. Always do a free banner. I can't do that with what I'm doing, but through relationships, right? And so at this point, now it's a force multiplier. Okay. I've got 4 key people who are at the top of their industry in my niche, who are basically blasting my name from the rooftops because we're doing incredible work for that niche, right? And so this applies. I'll give you an example for like a title company, because this was an example that I worked a campaign that I worked on many years ago.
Like title in like real estate title?
Yeah. So I don't know what state you're in. Here in California, to purchase a home, you need an insurance company, which is the title company. In other states, that's an attorney. Okay. And so one of the strategies for them, for attorneys, in this particular state, was they wanted to get a hold of real estate agents, right? And they wanted to reach real estate agents. Well, real estate agents all congregate in different spots. You got like the NRA, you've got obviously realtor.com, you got some of those places, but another place they congregate and it's really untapped is continuing education. Real estate agents every year are required to get a continuing ed. Not every year.
Yeah, you introduced me to that dude in Massachusetts or whatever, or Connecticut. Yeah, I remember that.
Yes. Keep me certified. And so if you think about this and you go as an example, and you're trying to reach real estate agents, go where they congregate. Right. So as an example, one of his strategies now that he realizes, as a continuing ed program, he can sell courses that you have to take, but he can sell them not only to you as the realtor, but he can sell them to a sponsor. So as an example, a drone company, right? A title company. He can say, hey, you can be in front of, I don't know, 40,000 realtors a year. Teach this class, brand your company, because drone photography is a very important topic in real estate. There's so many laws around drones, right? Now your drone company's there. Now your title company is in front teaching these realtors. So you kind of need to think about that. And I met, and we came up with a strategy before he even started charging for it, right? So you want to think about the people who know the people you want to know,
really
right, Rahul?
quickly. Yeah, no, exactly. So that strategy that you delivered to him for free, backwards looking forward, it's like a multi-million-dollar strategy that's fucking simple that people don't know, that honestly you can probably have told the dude, or your future next person is like, how would you like me to expand your brand to get other people in the space where your exact clients hang out in like fucking huge numbers, and
Right.
then literally charge them a consulting fee of $30,000, and you can put a guarantee behind it now. Instead of saying, hey, here's the free thing in 30 minutes, you can make that 30,000 freaking dollars, right? So you can consult somebody. I've done that before. Like, I've literally consulted people where I'm like, let me show you the stuff. By the way, I have this exact strategy that Julian's talking about, the partnership strategy, the joint venture strategy. It's free in this Facebook group. So if you have not found that video yet, type in the chat right now, partnership, and then we'll get it to you. Hashtag partnership, hashtag partnership. And real quick, we're going to take a pause. There's 10 of you guys out there. There's like 15 or so. Some of you guys are here going in and out. When you're here, hashtag live, hashtag replay, smash that heart button, because we're going to get into, we have about 20 more minutes or so. And we want to show you a secret weapon, a really fucking cool tool. I promise you we're going to get to it. Don't know how long we're going to spend on it, but we're going to show you some cool things. And Julian's just going to use it on me, how to sell me, right? And without even knowing me, what you'd want to do to get my attention and make your communication less custom, more articulate, but based off of data, not based on what you think. Okay. Okay, so going from, like, let me summarize this. So we went from doing these smaller clients, and then we got in the space where you found somebody, you found a new niche, an ocean that didn't have so many sharks swimming in it, and then you attacked that niche, you went all in, and then you decided, hey, like through somebody, somebody needed your service, you supplied this service, so you found that one. This is where I talk about the one person that can make you a motherfucking millionaire. Besides a mentor will guide you to get more of those or find those for you as well. But the one, like me, I worked my balls off, got realtor.com, millionaire. If I never got another piece of business in my entire life other than that one client, I can literally survive till death because I can reinvest that cash flow. I can pump it into marketing and make more money off of it. So that one client, now you got this guy, and he referred you to a guy. That guy referred you to HeadSpace, referred you to NETFIX, referred you to this. So now that you have this, like, you have to be so self-aware that you have these opportunities right in front of you from that one person.
And I think it's important to nurture these relationships, right?
Yes.
So one thing you taught me was go back to the original referring party who you, so let's say you have the referring party, they referred you to a client, take the client's results, the work, and share it with the original party, because then that party refers you to more.
100%. We always want to maintain relationships. I never was a personal in-person networker unless I had to be. I looked at that as like, I like to sit behind a desk. I'm a phone jockey, because I looked at it as like, why meet two people in a day when I can actually call 150 to 200 myself in a day? I can have much more reach. That was the way I operated. Now I can go back to that operation because now I can do Facebook Lives. I can do LinkedIn's. There's so much easier ways than going, plus you in advance. But yeah, in-person networking, when you find that one, like right now, while we were on here, I'm booking a podcast with a 75-year-old man that's written 21 books, bestsellers. You know who he is, sales guy, Jim. Yeah, Jim is like one of, like, a National Speaker Association fucking president, and he's in these Hall of Fames. Like, he's literally one of the top 50 influencers in sales and marketing, all from networking. Now, when I do my interview with him, which will be like my 7th or 10th interview with him, like, I'm going to learn a lot. He'll learn a lot. But he will also be able to refer each other. He can get me in front of other guests. He can get me in front of other clients. He can get me in front of fucking Four Seasons because that's his client, right? So that's the networking model. It's a slower moving train, but it's faster than probably what you're doing now. Does that make sense? Because so many people are chasing a $1,500 client, a $500 client, a $200 client, a free fucking trial.
Right. And don't get us wrong. I think you guys call them MMAs, money making activities. I think you need to have a mixture of both strategies. You need to have your network strategy, and you need to go get those deals as well, right? Because you got to put food on the table today. You got to pay your employees. You got to keep the lights on. So that was what I wanted you guys to get from my story is I kept the lights on while I was investing in a long-term strategy. That's was the key. Right. I always knew that I needed to create leverage, and larger clients, bigger checks is the leverage you need to be able to scale to monument like numbers. Right. Mm-hmm. The number, I just was talking to my cousin last night and I go, dude, I've never seen this big of numbers in my bank account. I'm like, what the, like, this is weird. And it's like, now I'm like scared. And now I got to talk to my accountant, like, hey, how do I manage this money? Like, I want to manage it. Anyways, all right, guys, we have something freaking cool here. Okay. This thing's badass.
Right.
I just
real
found,
quick, who wants to see, like, real quick, before we show this, like this, we have about 10-15 minutes to go through this. Who wants to see this tool? I don't get impressed with shit. Like Julian sent me a lot of stuff.
Ever.
Like I like when I say to Julian, he knows like, oh, dude, he doesn't care. When he showed me this, he sent me an email and he said, share this with your group. My response, I didn't even click the link, by the way. I just clicked, I hit reply. I said, how are you using it? He's like, hop on Zoom. So I'm like, all right, it must be that important. So he showed it to me and I was just like, dude, send this. Let's send it. Let's send a cold message to Cody. And by the way, I called him and I said, hey, check your email, my man. And he's like, hey, is this the dude that used to work for you? I'm like, just check the email. And I'm like, and then he read it and he's like, I'm like, would you respond to that? He's like, fuck yeah, I would. And he's like, did you write this and send it? Tell him to send it to me. And I'm like, no, dude, I didn't write a single thing. I just gave him replace like in X article to your awards that you've won, Cody. And that's it. And anyways, who wants to see this? I want to see hashtag secret weapon in the comments right now. So we're going to wait until we see enough comments. I'm just going to look right now in the comments, smash the heart button and the like buttons. I want to see this right now. You guys have to comment. You can see it on my screen behind me. So I'm just going to wait until all 12 of you here are going to type in hashtag secret weapon.
I'm going there now too.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Julian's going to do it. I'll do it. Secret Shantae. We got Randy. I mean, like I said, I don't get excited. This is something that I'm excited about. I'm going to use it. Actually, I'm going to delegate it to Ben. If you're out there, Ben, you're going to use it. Jacob, I see you're there. You're going to use this. This is going to make our fucking outreach explode. Like, I think it is. And it's going to take a lot of work. Like, don't get me wrong. This helps. It's not like this is going to be like a paid.
No, I call it a force multiplier. It's going to take your work and your effort and it's going to make it more efficient.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Beautifully said. Force multiplier. It's not going to all of a sudden solve your problems.
Right. If you're putting zero, it's not going to multiply anything. So as long as you're making the calls, as long as you're sending the emails, this helps you become more efficient. And that's what I really like. I learned that word force multiplier 2 days ago. Now I use it all the time.
Boom. I love that. Yeah. I mean, every time we pick up a new little phrase, I just write it on my pad of paper right next to me. And then I read it like 30 times to memorize it. And I place it in a scenario. Like I heard somebody talk about, like, this is the time to do or die, but it's placed in the right sentence. And it's really for like a live event, not like a one-on-one. But anyways, yeah, I love documenting like key buzzwords.
Yep.
So people start to change. It changes the pattern interrupt in their head. Okay. All right. Someone knows someone. That's right, Alvin. I know you. I know where you live too, Alvin. I'll see you on Monday too. Anyways, let's go over it. You have share screen access.
Yep. I'm going to do it right now.
And if you guys have heard of this, that's okay. We're going to show you what he did to me. Like, you can pull me up and we'll fuck around right now. This is going to be fun.
Yeah. This thing's really
cool.
Cool.
And by the way, Julian, just really quick, you can start sharing it. I'll keep talking. You have share access. But Julian showed this to me literally like yesterday, and we decided to do this live today. That's how fresh of content we're making.
Right.
But the coolest part is that he showed how it actually worked in a real-time scenario in real time. He used this. I'm not going to name any names. We don't have to show your Gmail for this person because you can't blur this stuff out. Right. I don't think that would be the right thing to do.
I'll show the Cody one though.
Yeah, show the Cody one. Before we show that, let's just go to the product itself.
Yeah.
I'll let you take over from here.
All right, guys. So this is Crystal Nose. I just found it this week. I mean, that's how fresh all this stuff is. I interviewed
Hold
this guy.
on. You found it this week and you showed me you used this message.
Yeah.
What date did you just use that?
I used it on Tuesday. I found about it on Tuesday. By Wednesday, I used it. And by Wednesday afternoon, I closed my biggest deal ever.
And just keep in mind, like it helped you create the response that you didn't even write.
Correct.
And it wasn't something you would ordinarily handwrite.
Have said.
You wouldn't have
I would
said
have
that.
never said it that way.
You would have probably said something to create, I don't want to assume, but maybe create resistance or a longer buy cycle where they'd have to think about it.
Right.
And then you just had to just delete a couple words based on your own preference of language and send. Okay. So this closed one of his big ass deals, like big fucking deals. I'm talking about $100,000 deals. Like, and this is like big names. So let's go.
So first off, I'm going to give a shout out to Tim Ash. It's here. You can't see his book right here. Tim Ash. It's this book called Unleash Your Primal Brain. I interviewed Tim Ash. Rahul, I'll send you to Tim Ash too, so you can interview him for your GOAT show. And Tim Ash is amazing. So he showed me this tool, and basically he used it to when he's talking to podcast hosts, he wants to know what's their personality. How do I talk to this podcast host? So Crystal Knows, that's what the website is. Crystal Knows. Rahul, please drop that in the chat so people can have access to that. And so it's a Chrome plugin. So I'm not going to show you how to install it. Figure out how to install it, get it installed. Once you install it, this is what it looks like. You come over to any profile. We're going to use Rahul as an example. This one's hilarious, guys. And we're going to click this little tool here off to the right-hand side that says View Personality. So Rahul, let's go through this. Rahul, you are a DI, okay? That's classified as a visionary, dynamic, and charismatic. Do you believe that describes you well?
I'm all for that, but yeah, no, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Rahul is a moderate DI who is likely to thrive in chaos with a preference for shaping new ideas and taking calculated risks.
Yeah. Like, I mean, the calculated part, I probably take bigger risks than a calculated one. I would say like risky calculated risk.
So look what it keeps saying further when you dive deeper. DI is natural at elevating new ideas, taking big risks, and finding ways around the rules. Does that describe you?
100%. 100%.
Listen to this. When selling to Rahul, keep it high level and avoid bringing in too many details. Try to focus the conversation on what the product can offer him and what impact it will have on his goals. Does that sound about right?
Yes. And the reason I say yes on that is because like I get cold emails every day, like all you guys. I probably delete about 100 now at this stage because I've been my emails out there. But when people say something very specific, like I saw your last video is awesome. And then they say, hey, look, I want to earn your business for videos. Can I give you one and show you my work? And then will you hire me if you like it? Like that directness. This is like literally reading who I am. Like we talked last night. I'm like, if you can make your whole email a subject line for a guy like me, I would love you. I would respond way faster.
When emailing Rahul, does this sound right? Don't include too much detail and avoid too many attachment or links.
I like one link max and no attachments. That's because I mean the reason I say that for all you guys out there is like people that like to write long emails, they don't like to read long emails, right? So it's nothing worse in the world than that, right?
So I know Rahul pretty well. I'm trying to find if I can find the email. Everyone has access to my thing here. Let's see, where is it? Rahul. Oh, it's gotta be up here, right? No, hold on. I want to show you what I emailed Rahul. Where is it, dude?
The one from last night?
Yeah, I can't find. Oh, I deleted it. That's why. Okay, don't worry about it. Okay, so it's funny because that's basically the subject line. What was my subject line? It was like new tool or something or whatever, and I just included a link and I said share this. He replied, you heard the story. So this is totally him. All right, next. Rahul will appreciate emails that remain lighthearted but focused. Don't be afraid to banter a bit and crack a few jokes, right? So like a Muhammad Ali, a Michael Jordan joke, right? Like you're a sports guy. Okay. When you're meeting with him, remain upbeat and positive. Start by casting an exciting vision. Use visuals when possible.
Dude, 100%. Yeah. When I see it, I believe it. Like and especially the casting the exciting vision is really important because I don't like people coming at me with a consequence of inaction right out the gate. I like that at the end because now I can see both sides. But if you show me like, hey, like I want, like, where are you at now? And you want to make X in this month? Can I show you some of the tools that I think could be helpful? And you tell me if they're not. Like, if somebody did that for me and knew what my problem would be, that's exactly what I buy, and that's what your buyers buy, right? So this is me.
100%. And then
Mhm.
listen to this. Do you consider yourself that you think quickly on your feet and
Yeah.
you like opportunities to perform and entertain people?
The entertain, I don't like that might be a consequence of what I'm already doing. That's
Right.
just personality wise, but I don't look to aim to entertain.
But you do it,
And
but you
it
do it.
happens. Yeah, it'll start to happen as we have a
Right.
mutual foundation. But yeah, no, that's cool. Thinking on the feet. Yeah, that sounds like me.
And you're stressed out by researching data and following rules.
Yeah. I make my own rules sometimes, and I don't. Yeah, researching data. I mean, hey, Cody, that's that's why we're partners, man.
So far, does this tool have a pretty good understanding of who you are?
It probably could have described me better than I could have described myself to a stranger that I was trying to teach how to sell a guy like me.
Okay. So, and all this did was used your LinkedIn to determine who you were. That was
Right.
the source of data. Okay. Now this is where this thing gets really freaking sexy. Okay. Talk about the secret sauce. Boom. Right here on the left, there's little icons, profile, quick tips, sales stages, playbooks. And then here's this email templates.
This is
that.
this is dope right here. This got this really like that first slide caught my attention, and I was like, cool, we're done here. He's like, wait, there's more, like a fucking infomercial. And keep in mind, Julian does not get paid from this company.
No idea who
all.
this is. No idea who this is. No idea.
So this is just a free training just so you can see the tool that can be a game changer. If it's for you, it's for you. If it's not, it's not. Just know your role of where you are in life, and if this applies to scaling, do it. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
So check this out. When emailing Rahul, be clear but natural. Let's catch up this weekend. Does that sound right?
Easy. Yep. 100%.
Don't overwhelm him with specifics like information about upcoming projects for improving our user experience in 2020. Like that's not that's not you, right? Okay. Body of the email. This is when you were actually writing the body of the email that even Rahul was like, I don't even want that. But listen to this. Keep it brief. Let's set up a meeting so we can talk about your ideas for growth. Is that right? Is that right?
Yeah.
Don't
no. Keep in mind, these are examples. Like, it doesn't mean like these are just examples, right? So set up a meeting. You can change those. You could copy and paste those and see what happens.
Yeah, and I copy and paste it and I adjust it. Right. So like instead of saying let's catch up this week, and I said let's catch up this week, or let's catch up about blank. Right. Then in the body of the email, lose your point by rambling on. Okay. So you lose Rahul by rambling on. Rahul wants to be direct and efficient. Right. Here's an example of what not to do. Your last email reminded me of something I meant to tell you. How unnecessary is that for you? Like, like, do you need me to mention this? Like, your last email reminded me of something. Like, do you care about that?
I mean, I get where I get where they're going with this. Oh, it's the don't. I thought it was the do. Don't do that. I don't need that.
Right. And then this is fairly last minute. Blame my forgetfulness. I should have mentioned something sooner. Like, how unnecessary is all that for you? For you,
it will. Yeah, I mean, if somebody said that to me, I would just be thinking like, you're just now on defense because you apologize for something that you shouldn't have apologized for.
All right, call to action. So this is a call to action. You should use Rahul. What do you think about this? Do you want to try this?
Yeah.
Right.
Because I'd be curious what it is. I'd have to open. Do you want to try this? And a lot of times I don't know who are what emails I want. Right. I don't know who is emailing me 90% of the time. So I would probably click that. Do you want to try this? It sounds like somebody should get my attention. Yeah. Right.
Absolutely. So, this tool is very, very interesting. Okay. Here, I actually, I found, okay, look at this. This is how I emailed Rahul. Let's see. So I wrote Chrome plugin in the subject line that tells you how to sell someone. That was my subject line. Right. Then I wrote, this is deadly accurate, tested on 3 people, mention it to your group. Right.
Oh, yeah.
How you is this email? How, like, when you get this, you probably don't think, oh, Julian gets me. But when you really think about, like, don't I understand you? Like, don't I get you?
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. Like, I mean, even if I like the subject line, I probably like the Chrome plugin. It tells me like a little bit of what it is. I get what a Chrome plugin is. That tells you how to sell somebody. Now, that would be helpful for me. So I would read this anyways. And then like, just even this is deadly accurate, test on 3 people. Like that in itself could probably like be like, if I didn't know Julian, I would be forced to click that link. Right. So like that, this would probably work on me with a cold email too.
Right. So then you responded, how are you using this service? Which is your generic response that you didn't read anything.
Yep,
and I go, and then I go, I'm not going to even explain it to Rahul because Rahul doesn't care about me explaining anything. I'll show you over Zoom. It's sick, right?
Yeah.
Isn't like this? It's sick. Like, isn't that like your lingo? Like, you're like, oh, that's sick. Like, right?
Any descriptor, it's rad, it's dope, it's awesome, it's awesome. Sorry, not good, it's amazing, but yeah, it's sick, just easy peasy.
Right, and then dope, right? And then he sends me this, and then he texts me randomly, hey, can you jump on a Zoom? And I go, I'll send you a Zoom in 2 minutes. And then we were here, and I showed him. So I want to show you guys what I did for Cody. This one's really, really funny. So, Cody.
Why do you delete your sentence?
Anyways, I didn't. I deleted the string before.
Oh, okay.
I deleted the string because I didn't need that email. It was, whatever. So the email says, "Do you want to try this?"
This was given by the program. Do you want to try this? Like you just saw.
Right. This was given by the program. So the subject line was, do you want to try this? I said, what's up, Cody? I literally copied and pasted. Didn't even change the grammar or anything. And then the only thing that Rahul gave me that I could have gotten from just a little bit of research was this, the 2CC award. So it said, congrats on the 2CC award. What a cool way to be recognized in the ClickFunnels community, right? And this is quick information that you can grab to do a little bit of research on someone. The rest of this email was a copy and paste. I didn't change it. So here's what it says. I've been looking what you've been doing for a while. It's a total dream of mine. I'd be remiss with myself if I didn't ask you if you're available to give me some advice when I can get started on it. Let me know if you're available next week to chat. I'd say coffee's on me, but it's a virtual thing. Is it me doing any favors with that? Thanks, Julian.
Yeah.
And so tell us what Cody said when he saw this.
Yeah, no, he's like 100%. I would actually reply to this person because the way it's crafted is like hitting his ego, where he just got like the award, like that. Who doesn't like to be complimented? Like if somebody said, "Hey, I like your sneakers," I'm like, "Oh, thank you." It's like, dude, like a stranger saying that to you. Yeah, no, like he literally said, I would definitely 100% respond to this person.
And so it was a copy and paste. And check this out, guys. And this tool does a lot more than we're describing here. We don't have enough time, but look at all these things. How to schedule a meeting with Rahul, how to do a cold call, a cold sales pitch, how to follow up. Listen to this one. This one's interesting. So Rahul, if you had a pricing concern, right? If you had told me on the phone, like, hey, I'm concerned, like, dude, I don't know, that's too expensive. This is what it says to tell Rahul. Rahul, your concern over our rates is very important to us, but we are confident you'll be pleased with quickly. You will be pleased with quickly.
It's probably a little off. It's okay.
Yeah. With our company is growing and evolving into one of them. It's probably using NLP, natural linguistics processing, and evolving into one of the most forward-thinking on the market. I would love to discuss this issue further if we can come up with a solution. Can you talk later this week? Isn't this you? Can we talk later this week? Isn't that the right way to talk to you?
Eliminate resistance. Don't pin somebody down. Like, does it work on Tuesday or Wednesday? Like, those work with when you're on calls. This is beautifully written in a sense of a pricing concern. Yeah. I think it's valid for based on this very scenario, if it's a bigger deal or something. But yeah, I mean, everybody's concerned with price. This is really good.
Yeah. And
it'll just simplify the thing, because like, think about this. Like, let's say you got a virtual assistant, you wanted them to do some work, or you do it yourself and master it first. Like, this can just give you like how hard is it to copy and paste, drop in an email, modify something, hit send. And what's the worst that could happen? They don't respond. What's the best that can happen? You get a $2,000 a month contract, $24K value over 12 months. Right. I mean, imagine doing that 10 times in one day what is that? What's 10 times in one day times 5 days if you don't work Saturdays, Sundays? 50 times. Then you amplify that to 100 in 2 weeks. You amplify that to 400 in 4 weeks. You see how that volume, only 400 could probably get you one client. So, I mean, that's not really that challenging of when you're clear on what to do. So we just got to, that's what we talk about. Cody talks about it every day. I talk about it all the time. Don't cut off the head of your prospecting, because then you can't use tools like this as effectively.
So check this out, right? Listen to this, right? When I'm talking to Rahul and I want to sell him. So this is under, guys, this is under quick tips. Provide a high level summary of value. Try to keep the conversation focused. React quickly to his feedback. Share visual aids. So what did I do to sell Rahul on this tool, right? I kept it very high level. I said, this is going to teach you how to sell someone better, right? I said, it's deadly accurate, right? And it's dope, okay? I kept the conversation focused. And then I said, let's get on a Zoom. Let's just get on a Zoom. I didn't say, let me give you all these details. Let me show you how I'm using it. Oh, Rahul, I go on LinkedIn, I download it. Like, he doesn't give a fuck about that, right? Now, some people do, and it's important to understand who you're talking to. So that's why this tool is so freaking cool, because people are different, and this is a really easy way. Now, maybe it's not 100% accurate. Maybe you need to adjust, but we're salespeople. We need to be able to do that, right? And that's a part of sales. So this is a great tool, guys. I'm obsessed with it. When I had a question, look, I was a little nervous this week. I was emailing one of my biggest clients ever for a huge contract. Okay, this is contracts that are going to make my agency for years to come. And I was nervous about following up. It'd been a week, dude. They had not responded to my proposal. So I pitched them. I sent the proposal. They have so many decision makers. I can't close them on the spot. There's just too many decision makers, and I can't get them all in the room. It's impossible. I tried. You can't. So it had been a week, and I went, dude, these clients are going to take like 3 months to get back to me, 45 days on the minimum. So I sent a week follow-up because I told them I would follow up in a week. And I sent them this personalized email based on the tool that it told me to do. And I wrote it completely different than I would write to Rahul. I was very descriptive about things. I thanked them for things. I appreciated them. I labeled the client. I said, I mentioned people in it. And then I said something soft. I said, I can only imagine it'll take you guys a while to circle to everyone involved. Let me know when you get a chance. Literally 45 minutes later, they said, we're moving forward with this package. Here's the team you need the intro to. And dude, like my mouth freaking dropped.
Right. And it's literally that situational. Like, now you may be thinking, oh, they already talked and circulated it. Had that email not gone out as timely, do you think that person that was responding would have forgot to proactively tell Julian? Or what if she just said, you know what, we have choices. Like, let's just go with a person B, person C, person D that they could have been interviewing too. His timeliness and he didn't create in that. He showed me that email, and I was like, fuck, this is so beautifully written, because he showed me that person's LinkedIn profile, the position in that company where she's the mama bear. You got to be so polite. She has a lot of clout and power, but it's just like, she's the mama bear when like you want, like, you validate through a person like that person. So the way it was written, it was so respectful, knowing that she's not the decision maker, but people value her in the organization. And she's just probably like genuinely nice, like almost like going to a veterinarian. All the nurses are.
She's
like,
a sweetheart.
Very nice.
She's an absolute sweetheart. And it wouldn't have been the same thing that I would have sent to Cody. It wouldn't have been what I would send to Rahul. It just wouldn't. It would be different. And that's what this tool gives you a leverage on. So guys, this is a force multiplier. I'm going to bring it up here just as the last thing. This is an amazing tool. I'm not sponsored. I'm not going to get any credit. I'm not sending you a link. Go straight to the website. By the way, dude, we should probably call these guys and
I was actually just going to say that we should actually send them a link to this video and saying, hey, we want to build your podcast through Poppy Digital and get this out to the marketing world. Let us do it. They got the media kit. They're big. Oh, I thought that was an Indian guy. Never mind. Never mind. It's not. But yeah, let's do it. Not live. Well, let's do it. Oh, you know what? I got to get off this link because Cody's got to go live in our Facebook group for our coaching call. Drop some comments, drop some hearts. We got a jam right now. We're going to be fucking with this tool a little bit more. Julian, I'll send you a different Zoom link.
All right.
All right, bye guys. Thanks for coming in, man. I really appreciate this. This helped the whole fucking GSD community. So whoever's out there, drop some fucking comments. This is like one of those tools. You guys
add me on LinkedIn.
Yeah, add them on LinkedIn. Drop your LinkedIn link in there too.
Okay, later, guys.
All right, peace out, guys. Peace.